In the deep rings of the Andrax Galaxy, far from Earth, a special ship moved quietly between stars. The ship was called Voyager 9, and it carried the first team of humans working together with alien species. It wasn't a warship. It was a peace mission. The ship's halls were clean, cold, and filled with strange beings. There were tall, glowing insect people, soft jelly floaters, and thin, glassy-eyed creatures. But none stood out more than Bina Valeri, a rare species of canine humanoids. She had silver-gray fur, wolf-like ears, sharp ice blue eyes, and a tail that always moved when she was angry, or excited, or nervous. Bina was a fighter. She trained with weapons, walked with perfect balance, and always looked serious. Most humans avoided her, but one didn't. His name was Taiyang, a simple engineer from Earth. He liked soft music, named every tool he worked with, and had a messy way of doing things. He called the oxygen regulator Bubbles, and once spent the entire week fixing a broken fan because he felt sorry for it. When Bina first saw him, she said, "Why do you talk to machines?" He grinned, "Because they listen better than people." Bina didn't know how to respond, but her tail swayed once. Just once. Over months, they were assigned together on repairs and missions. They learned how to work side by side. She was exact. He was chaotic. She fixed systems with silence. He hummed old Earth songs. She growled when he made jokes, but never told him to stop. On a mission to repair a crashed Valeri scout ship, everything changed. Inside, Bina found bones of her own kind. Scratches on the walls, old blood on the floor. She fell to her knees, beside a broken command console, and closed her eyes. Taiyang didn't ask questions. He walked over, placed his hand gently on her shoulder, and said nothing. She didn't push him away. That night, she entered his room. She didn't say anything, just sat beside him and whispered, "I don't know why, but I feel safe with you." "You don't have to know why," he said softly. They didn't kiss. They didn't touch more than fingers. But they lay side by side, breathing together, until the ship's lights dimmed into sleep mode. The change came weeks later. Bina returned from a scouting trip, different, her eyes wild, tail twitching, ears standing straight. "You okay?" Taiyang asked. Offering her water, she sniffed it. Then she sniffed him. She stepped back. Her fur stood up. "Something is happening," she said in a low growl. "It's not normal." That night, she came to his room again. But this time, she didn't sit quietly. She looked at him, eyes glowing, voice serious. "If we bond," she said, "it is forever. No return. It's not like your human mating. We don't undo it." He stared at her. "You think I'm scared of forever?" She didn't smile, but her tail moved once, slow and full. That night, they bonded. No loud noises, no words, just a slow touch, shared warmth, and deep trust. She rested her head under his chin and whispered, "You smell like home now." Days passed, missions continued. Life on Voyager 9 returned to normal, until one day, when Taiyang was fixing a coolant leak. Grease on his cheek, humming to himself, Bina stormed into the room. She stood tall, arms folded, ears twitching fast. "You need to prepare," she said. He looked up. "Prepare for what?" She stepped closer. Her tail did a nervous flick. "We're having puppies." The wrench fell from his hand. "Puppies," he shouted. "Wait, what? You mean puppies, puppies." "Hybrids," she corrected. "Your DNA matched mine perfectly." "I did not expect it." "It is happening." Taiyang sat down hard on the floor. "Nobody told me this was even possible." "Neither did I," she said, almost whispering now. "But it is. They'll be here in 2 moon cycles." He looked up at her, completely lost. Then he laughed. "I thought I'd die old, fixing broken ship pipes. Now I'm having space puppies." Bina didn't smile, but her ears lowered gently. She was scared, not for herself, but for the pups. "They will be hybrids," she said. "Neither full Valeri, nor full human. Others may reject them." Taiyang got up, grease still on his hands, and hugged her. "No, they won't be outcasts. They'll be legends." That night, he started working on a new room. He cleared out an unused cargo pod and made it warm, soft, and full of cushions. He added gravity adjusters, soft lights, and even played quiet lullabies from Earth. "You're nesting," Bina said as she watched him. "Darn right I am," he said, proudly. "My kids are gonna have the coolest den in the galaxy." But the truth was, he was nervous too. He had never been a father. He had never even thought about it. Now he was about to become one with someone who didn't come from Earth. One night he asked, "Do you think they'll look more like you or me?" Bina replied, "I don't know. But I hope they get your crooked smile." Taiyang blinked. "You noticed my smile." "I noticed everything." They sat together, side by side, hands touching paws. Above them, stars drifted slowly outside the ship's window. In silence, they waited for a future no one could have imagined. And deep in her body, Bina already felt them. Little lives. Beating hearts, mix of worlds that had never touched before. She leaned into him, and for the first time in years, she whispered something she never told anyone. "I'm scared." He held her tighter. "We'll be scared together. And we'll raise legends." The alarms on Voyager 9 started screaming at midnight. Outside the ship, a sudden asteroid wave was crashing through Sector 4. Inside, red lights flashed along the halls. The floor shook. Crew members shouted. Engines groaned like tired animals. But, inside Cargo Bay 6, something more shocking was happening. Bina dropped to the floor, holding her belly. Her silver fur was wet with sweat. Her sharp claws scraped the metal floor. Her ears folded back, and her breathing turned heavy. "It's time," she growled. "The pups, they're coming now." Taiyang froze. He had just walked in with a warm cup of algae coffee when she cried out. His eyes went wide, and the cup fell, spilling green liquid across the floor. "Now, but wait. We're in the middle of an asteroid storm." "I know," Bina hissed, her tail stiff. "Help me now." The ship jolted again, knocking down a rack of tools. Sparks flew from a control panel. Still, Taiyang didn't leave her side. He knelt beside her and grabbed her hand. "No, her paw." "Hold on," he said. "You're not doing this alone." "I'm not weak," she snarled between deep breaths. "But I'm scared." He squeezed gently. "Me too. But we've got this." Outside, the captain's voice called out over the speaker. "Brace for impact in 60 seconds. Inside, Bina's body shook as her instincts took over. Her sharp teeth clenched, her eyes turned a deep blue, and then a cry. Small, soft, alive. One tiny pup slid into the world, wrapped in silvery fur, ears twitching. Bina gasped, then sobbed softly. Another followed, then a third. 3 hybrid pups. Born during a storm. Taiyang held the first one in both hands. The tiny creature blinked, then let out a squeaky growl. "He has your ears," Taiyang whispered, laughing through his tears. The second pup had darker fur, like storm clouds. The third had his crooked smile. "They're perfect," Bina whispered. Her voice trembled. "But what now? They don't belong to one world or the other." Taiyang looked at her, then at the pups. "They belong to both. They're proof that love can cross anything." The storm outside slowed. The engines stabilized, and the ship came out of danger. Minutes later, the crew heard the news. At first, there was silence. Whispers. Footsteps stopped in the hallways. Some crew members stared in shock. Others backed away. A hybrid birth. Between a human and a no one had ever seen it before. Then, the smallest pup, wrapped in a soft gray blanket, growled at a floating drone. The drone blinked twice. Then the pup crawled forward and licked the captain's boot. Everyone froze. The old alien captain, a lizard-skinned diplomat named Orca, stared at the pup. Then he cleared his throat. "Well, that settles it. Welcome to the team, little one." And just like that, the tension broke. The ship's AI updated its logs. First confirmed interspecies offspring between human and Valeri. Health status, strong. Emotional bond, verified. Cultural impact, unmeasurable. The news spread fast. Across space stations. To Earth, to Velinor. Scientists, leaders, and soldiers watched the footage of the tiny pups playing with wires in Cargo Bay 6. Some called it a scandal. Others called it history. But to Taiyang and Bina, it was just their family. Over the next weeks, the pups grew fast. One chewed on his father's boots. Another tried to howl at the ship's lights. The third chased shadows in the halls. Taiyang laughed more than ever. He made little socks for their paws so they wouldn't slip on the metal floor. He added tiny nameplates above each sleeping cushion. Bina stayed close to them always. Her ears twitched at every sound. She growled at anyone who came too close. She even bit a food delivery drone when it beeped too loudly. "You're getting too protective." Taiyang joked. "I'm a mother," Bina replied. "This is normal." One evening, the entire crew gathered in the observation room. The stars outside glittered like ice. The captain made a speech. "These pups are not threats. They are bridges between worlds, between minds, between hearts. A cheer rose from the crew. Some aliens still kept their distance. But no one called the pups mistakes anymore. 1 month later, Voyager 9 landed on a new colony planet. It had clean air, blue skies, and green hills. It was a place for peace. For growth. Taeyang stood on the porch of their new home, holding one of the pups. Bina came beside him. Do you miss Earth? He shook his head. Not even a little. Everything I need is right here. She leaned her head on his shoulder, tail wrapping around his leg. You still call them puppies, she said softly. They'll always be our puppies, he replied. And you'll always be their mama wolf. She gave a low, happy growl. That makes you the strange human wolffather, he laughed. Best title I've ever had. They watched as the pups chased each other across the soft grass. They howled at the twin moons above, their voices rising together like music. Behind them, the stars waited quietly. Ahead of them, the future no one expected had already begun. A future where love didn't need permission, where species didn't matter, where a small pup's growl could change a galaxy. And in the middle of it all, a tired engineer and a proud warrior had done the unthinkable. They made history by having puppies in space.